JJ the CPA here. Want to visit with you about the Families First Coronavirus Relief Act. It includes two different acts, one related to sick leave and one related to family and medical leave. And in those is different ways to calculate payroll tax credits based on the employee and what's being paid to them. There's 10-day maximums related to the sick leave. There's a $10,000 maximum related to each employee for the medical and family leave. Now, in both of the opportunities to get payroll tax credits, the tax credit that can be yielded for the employer is increased by the amount the employer is paying health insurance premiums for that employee that qualifies for the credit. So let's be clear on this. The credit will always still be limited, whether it's from those that qualify for the 511 per day max or the 200 day per max for the 10 days on the sick leave, or whether they qualify for the 200 a day on the Family and Medical Leave Act, okay? In both of those circumstances, if the employer is paying the health insurance premiums on that employee, what they get to add to the credit is the amount of the health insurance premium. But all of that together, all of that credit amount added together will be limited to 7.65% of all wages. 7.65% is the Social Security and Medicare taxes that the employer pays in addition to the payroll. So all credits combined, everything you're reading about, all of this stuff, you add up all the credits, but the credit that's allowed will not be more than 7.65% of all wages. So on the health insurance aspect of this, it's a credit for the health insurance plan expenses, but there has to be there's some caveats in the sense that the employer is the one that pays the health insurance. It had already been provided to the employee tax-free, meaning the employer's just paying it, okay? And when the employer just pays it, that's not taxable to the employee. The employee doesn't pay it, meaning it's not being deducted, because here's the thing. This tax credit is for the employer for what the employer is paying. If the employee is paying this and the employer therefore is not, the employer is not going to get a tax credit for this. It's for those that are out and qualify for the credit. So if you have a client or an employer or you, and you have 10 people in your company and you're covering all 10 of them in health insurance and one of them is out, then the health insurance premiums on that one employee that's out that qualifies that would get the credit, okay, that's the amount of health insurance that's added to your overall credit. So just as an example, you've got here Roger, $1,200 a month in health insurance that the employer pays, and Sally, $1,200 a month in health insurance that the employee pays. But if Sally is still working and isn't out for whatever reason, okay, that employer's not going to get a credit for what that employer's paying for Sally. So if Roger's out for any of those reasons, okay, and qualifies for the credit, then Roger's $1,200 a month for the health insurance premiums, the employer gets that credit. So I've got all kinds of videos on this. I deep dive into each act inside the Families First Coronavirus Relief Act, because inside of that is a number of measures. Two of them lead to tax credit. One is the Emergency Family and Medical Leave Act that's expanded, and then the Emergency Paid Sick Leave Act. There's a number of other things in there that you want to take a look at. And so I've got a number of videos and videos where I go through some examples. For those of you that are tuning in, I really appreciate you watching. I've put together a free website, different from my business. It's jjthecpahelp.com. I've got other information on there that I'll continue to gather, and I feel like it'll be a nice resource for those. Anything that I'm putting together and sending to clients, I'm putting on here for small businesses, how to get ready for knowing what your cash flow is going to be, doing some forecasting for individuals and businesses, talking about loans and credit card and getting cash out and adjusting your withholdings, etc., just to be helpful. So hopefully you'll check that out. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate it. And then you can find me anywhere on social media at hashtag JJ the CPA. I hope you're doing well. Keep safe. JJ the CPA out.